Hey, good evening. Donna Nelson here, founder of Rooted in Wisdom, a daily dose of Donna. So, welcome. Happy to have you here. It's Friday night here, and this is episode 40. And I'm talking about how our self concept can lead to a path of energy sucking choices. Yes, I know I could have turned it into something totally positive, but I wanted to grab your attention with this because I was reading something today, and then two of the conversations that I was involved in today kind of led to this idea of our choices and our unmet needs and our self concept and our habits. And it all kind of in my mind kind of just bundled up together into how our self concept leads to, well, let me back that up a little bit. How our unmet needs contributes to our self concept and how our self concept affects our unmet needs. I feel like they're tied together. And having unmet needs, having a self concept that um, creates these beliefs that we have, then draws us into these habits of drawing people and places and things into our life that we're trying to fill this unmet need because of this self concept that we have about ourselves that is not positive or empowering. And grasping or trying to have these needs met through these ways, whether it's people or experiences, are then ultimately draining our energy, which is then just perpetuating this path and in no way empowering and building us up. And so thinking about how do we change that? And well, the answer to that is creating a new identity. And so there's many ways of doing that. I will tell you that one of the best ways to do that is to join my Breakthrough to Wholeness program. So next time I run it, you get in there and we will get into some real good foundational ways of doing that, of doing this self-discovery for yourself to figure out why you're even in this position and then what to do about it and how to grow and create this new identity for yourself. So we create a new identity. The new identity creates new beliefs for ourselves and about how we see life in the world and our experience. And of course, there's a whole lot in between there around practices and so forth. But we create these new habits. And someone I was in a conversation with today, we were talking about, tell me the habits that someone has, and I'll tell you what their life is like or what their life is going to be like over a period of time. And I know that that's true in my own life. And I certainly see that it's true for people that come in and join my programs and that I coach one on one. So our habits truly do determine what our life looks like. And our habits are the people that we're hanging out with, the way that we're spending our time, the decisions that we're making day to day, moment to moment. So when we create new habits that are more empowering, more aligned with who we are, what we want out of life, then obviously what happens, right? We have more energy because everything is flowing in the direction that aligns with what we truly desire. And we have more confidence and we're going to be more optimistic. So that's going to just naturally move us toward those outcomes and our desires. So I wanted to read to you this um, I call it a poem. I guess it's probably not a poem. Um, I'll say this philosophical share from Anthony Hopkins, like the famous Hollywood actor, whatever. I didn't realize he was so philosophical. So I'm going to share this with you. It's a bit of a long read, but it ties into what we're talking about. And it impacted me in such a powerful way. So here it goes, and then we'll cover some stuff after maybe. So he says, let go of people who aren't ready to love you yet. This is the hardest thing you'll have to do in your life, and it will also be the most important thing. Stop giving your love to those who aren't ready to love you yet. Stop hard conversations with people who don't want to change. Stop showing up for people who are indifferent to your presence. Stop loving people who aren't ready to love you. I know your instincts do everything to win the good mercy of everyone around you, but it's also the impulse that will steal your time, energy, mental, physical, and spiritual health. When you start manifesting yourself in your life completely with joy, interest, and commitment, not everyone will be ready to find you in this place of pure sincerity. That doesn't mean that you have to change who you are. That means you have to stop loving people who don't want to love you yet. When you're excluded, subtly offended, forgotten, or easily ignored by people you give time to, you don't do yourself any favor by allowing them your energy and your life. The truth is that you're not for everyone, and that not everyone is for you. That makes this world so special when you find the few people you have friendship, love, and a true relationship with. You will know how valuable that is because you have experienced what isn't. But the more time you spend trying to make you loved by someone who can't, the more time you waste depriving the same connection. There are billions of people on this planet, and many of them will end up with you on their level with their vibration from where they stand. But the smaller you stay involved in the privacy of people who use you as a pillow, background option, a therapist, and a strategy for their emotional healing, the more time you stay out of the community you wish for. If you stop showing up, you might be less wanted. If you stop trying, the relationship might stop. If you stop texting, your phone stays dark for days and weeks. Maybe if you stop loving someone, the love between you will dissolve. That doesn't mean you ruined a relationship. That means all this relationship had was the energy that only you and you hire to keep it in the air. It's not love. That is attachment. That's wanting to give a chance to those who don't want it. The most valuable and most important thing you have in your life is your energy. It's not just your time because it's limited. It's your energy. What you give every day is what will become more and more in your life. It's the ones you give time and energy that will define your existence. When you realize this, you start to understand why you are so impatient when you spend your time with people that don't suit you and in activities, places, situations that don't suit you. You're starting to realize that the most important thing you can do for your life, for yourself, and for everyone else you know, protect your energy stronger than anything. Turn your life into a safe sanctuary where only compatible people with you are allowed. You are not responsible for saving people. You are not responsible to convince them to be saved. It's not your job to exist for people and give them your life, little by little, moment after moment. Because if you feel bad or if you feel obliged, you are the root of all of this by insisting, afraid they promise you the favors you won't give them. It's your only fact to realize that you are the loved one of your destiny and to accept the love you think you deserve. Decide you deserve a true friendship. And then look how everything is starting to change. So I thought it was so powerful because there were so many nuances in there. So, yes, it's the duality of life, right? You can't know what is special and what is amazing if we haven't already had what isn't. Um, and the importance of making space for what it is we desire. And when our space is cluttered up with that stuff that is, and those people and those experiences that don't appreciate us, don't love us the way that we deserve or the way that we're desiring, we don't then have room for those outcomes and those desires and that connection from somewhere else. So it's about, in my Breakthrough to Wholeness class, we talk about, um, letting go and clearing the clutter and making space and getting rid of that stuff that sucks our energy so that you have room for more of what we desire. But it's also about how we're spending our time. What are those habits every day around, you know, that are fulfilling to us, right? And who are we obliging and giving our time to, that there's not this reciprocity, right? Because that's a law. The law of reciprocity is, I love you. I'm using love as an example, right? But it's like what we put out to others should be coming back. And if it's not, then what we're getting back is not what we're giving necessarily, but it's from them. And then that's a reflection back to us, which comes back to this idea of having a poor self concept, and how having a poor self concept keeps us in that cycle of longing for something to fill that space, right? Wanting that approval, wanting that admiration, wanting that um, recognition for achievement, or the kudos for being a good person, or some award or whatever. And so we keep ourselves in this space where we think we should be getting it, and we're not. And so there's that unmet need that we keep trying to fulfill. So when we create a new identity that's our authentic self, and get rid of that old stuff that has been created based on expectations and conditioning, and I'll just say like old upbringings or whatever it is about who we should be and how we should be, that's out of alignment with our true self. um, when we create that new identity, then we have these new beliefs that are creating these new patterns and habits and giving us this energy, and we're out of those energy sucking relationships. So that was my wisdom for today, with a little bit of help from Anthony Hopkins. So I will probably not doing any um, Rooted in Wisdoms on the weekend. So we will be back on Monday. And I hope you have a great weekend.